31-0 shutout for the Eagles over the Raiders as they go to 9-5 and are one game away from clinching the NFC East title. I'm Coy Camiscioli, Philly Sports Talk. It's been a little while since I've recorded. Been a little busy, but we're back. The finals week is over for all my college students out there. It was awful, but it's over. Thank God. And now we can just talk some football. So, again, I know it's a couple days late. I'm going to have some other podcasts coming out soon that are late, obviously, but I still want to get it all out there. But let's talk about the Birds. This was a great get-right game after a disastrous loss against the Chargers in overtime the week before. This is kind of like, it felt really good. This one felt really good, but you still are not quite sure what this team is because this is the Raiders. They are 2-12, but this is exactly what we were looking for. I fully expected to win. I think everybody knew to win that we were going to win, but if we won like 24 to like 17 or something and it was kind of close, I think our season would have been packed up and over. So this is what we were looking for, and let alone a shutout too, 31-0. Listen, it was a great feel good kind of game. And we have an easier part of the schedule coming up. We obviously had the Bills in a week after our Commanders game this week, but then we had the Commanders again. We had a very tough schedule this season. Maybe we got some of those rough games out of the way. That's not necessarily a bad thing. We've competed in almost every single football game this year, except for that one against the Giants. So I feel good about this one. It's good. Well, hopefully, we can get another really good get-right game against the Commanders on Saturday because we should beat them. We should beat them by a good amount. They shut down Jaden Daniels the rest of the year. Their defense is atrocious. So we should do something similar like this again and clinch the NFC East, which would feel good. And then if we're rolling like that into Buffalo for that game, that would be huge if we can snatch a win there. And all of a sudden, we win that game, we're looking like we're back and people are feeling good about this team. So, again, 9-5. I'm recording this after the Seahawks and Rams game last night. That was a crazy one. Seahawks won. Obviously, they had the one seed right now under control. Things could still get crazy. But let's talk about the Eagles right now. As they're pretty much almost cemented at the 3 seed. They can get to that 2 seed, and it's actually still possible for the 1 seed, but it's really not. I think they could move up to the 2 seed, but we'll see what happens. Jalen Hurts, great bounce back game, 12 of 15 completions, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had that great pass to A.J. Brown, and him and Nick Sirianni were fired up on the sidelines together. And you can clearly tell that, Kevin Patullo is still just kind of like a weird guy in the mix. He was trying to get like in the mix to celebrate with them, but it was really just Jalen and Sirianni talking to each other. It kind of was awkward. It looked like a third wheeling kind of situation. So if you haven't seen that, I would go look that video up. We were able to get Tanner McKee in the game because this game was just a blowout. And really, the run game is still concerning. Our offensive line is still banged up. Lane Johnson's ruled out against the Commanders. Jalen Carter's ruled out as well, but obviously that's not on the offensive line. The run game is still it's too weak. Saquon Barkley, 22 carries for 78 yards and 1 touchdown. It's a combination of things. Saquon still just looking a little off, but the offensive line just has not been that great this year. And again, since this is the Raiders, that was the one thing that was concerning to me a little bit. Tank Bigsby, he ran for 57 yards and 17 carries. The Eagles utilized Jalen Hurts a lot more in the run game, 7 carries for 39 yards. That could be a pretty big threat for other teams if we can keep that rolling. But still, the offensive line has not been ideal this year. Jordan Mailata, the season he's having has not been great. Tyler Steen has not worked out the way we thought. Cam Jurgens has not been great. Lane Johnson's been hurt. Lane Dickerson's been hurt. And before we know it, that's all 5 of those guys. So, not ideal there. In terms of receiving, though, Dallas Goedert, great day for him. 6 receptions for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. We love to use him on those shuttle passes on the goal line, which is a good thing because, it doesn't seem like any kind of crazy kind of play design. It's a good play design, but it's one more thing that teams have to think about when we get inside the 5. And with how much we've done it this year to Dallas Goedert, and it looks pretty unstoppable, we can run some good concepts that can maybe fake some teams out into thinking that we are shuttle passing to Goddard, and we're not. So it opens up a lot of doors down below the 5, which is why I like having this kind of play. That's the one thing Kevin Patullo has done well, and the Eagles have done well for sure. So a couple good touchdowns there for Goddard, and he dropped a third one too. So Devontae Smith, 2 receptions for 50 yards. A.J. Brown, 2 receptions for 41 yards, and that touchdown streaking up the middle on the seam. So good stuff there. But again, this game was pretty much a blowout from the beginning. The Raiders are just really, really bad. And it kind of stunk to see Kenny Pickett like this because it's just a really bad situation in Vegas right now. So, defensively, Brandon Graham had a great day, 2 sacks, and one of them was negated by a penalty as well. Moro Ajomo had a sack as well. Nolan Smith, too. They all got to the quarterback. Nakobe Dean had 2 tackles for loss. I cannot stress enough how great he's been for this team. Jalen on a tackle for loss as well. It was a really, really good, feel-good kind of game for the Eagles. And Zach Baum with the interception, too. He was blanketing the receiver on coverage there. But this felt really good as an Eagles fan. It looked like the Eagles were hyped with this win. Guys were getting excited on the sidelines, and this is just something that we kind of needed. So hopefully we can keep it going against the Commanders on Saturday, and roll into the Bills in Buffalo the following weekend. So I'll be back to recap the game against the Commanders, and hopefully NFC East champions awaits us. If we were to somehow lose this game and the Cowboys lose, we are still NFC East champions, but I'm banking on the Eagles to win this game against the Commanders. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and go Birds.